1-1 on Gonzalez. Cone will look back at second. Comes home, and Gonzalez swings and belts one to left.
The tone was set early on in spring training when Juan Gonzalez reported early.
Swung on line to center, a base hit. Rounding third is Dean Palmer. He's coming in to score.
I felt that the players really believed in themselves.
The crowd is taunting Kenny Rogers.
This was going to be a special year for the Texas Rangers.
Rodriguez swings, lines a shot to left center field, a base hit. Rounding third is McLemore. He's in to score.
After 24 years of postseason famine, the Texas Rangers sparkled in their 25th year in Arlington, capturing their first ever division title. The Rangers may have come up short in their first ever playoff appearance, but 1996 was a year to remember for Rangers fans, a year that could be remembered as a turning point for the club.
Every team that represents the Texas Rangers from now on will never have to worry about that label. The only team in American League never to play in postseason play. That's been erased for all time in the future and for all the teams that represented Rangers before. We don't have to worry about that anymore.
The Rangers opened 1996 with the look of a champion, sweeping the Red Sox.
The stretch and the pitch and a swing and a blast to the gap in right center. Way back goes O'Leary. He can't get it. It's past and bouncing off the wall. Rodriguez around third. He's coming home. Here's the throw to the plate. Rodriguez dives head first. He scores. A 1-1 pitch. Slider hit on the ground. McLemore to his left. He's got it. Whirls around. Throws to first. Ball game over.
Following the sweep of Boston, the Rangers swept the Yankees and opened at Chicago with the win, running their record to 7-0, the best ever start in team history.
And the pitch. Swung on and drilled to left field. It's a base hit.
The first half of the Rangers season was filled with thrilling moments, including a 16-run 8th inning against the Orioles.
1-0 pitch hit deep. This is way back. That is a grand slam for Kevin Elster. It's 26-7.
The most dramatic moment of the season was provided by Darrell Hamilton on Memorial Day at the ballpark in Arlington. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, Rangers trailing the defending American League champion Indians.
McDowell set. Here's the pitch. Hamilton a swing and a long drive down the right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. And it is a fair ball down into the corner. Here comes Elster around third, heading home. The throw by Baerga. The dive. He's safe. The Rangers win. The Rangers win. And Hamilton has tripled home. Kevin Elster. The ballpark going crazy.
The Rangers remained in first place throughout most of the season, but couldn't quite shake the Mariners. It appeared that it might come down to a 4-game series in Seattle. This September road trip would start out as the Rangers' worst nightmare as the team was swept by their division rivals, the Mariners. Then another loss to the Angels trimmed the Texas lead to just 1 game, evoking fans' worst fears of another Rangers collapse.
It's all about a feeling. Sometimes faith isn't faith unless you have to put it into use. And right now, we have to keep the faith and believing that we're going to finish out and win this thing, which we're going to.
Unlike the previous 24 Texas Rangers teams, the 1996 club would not be denied.
A 1-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball to left. On comes Rusty Greer. He's got it. The magic number is 1. As Henneman gets his 31st save. And the Rangers hang on for a 6-5 win.
And finally, Seattle would trip once too often.
In Oakland, Seattle has lost. The Rangers, you say it first.
The Rangers are champions of the American League West. From Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, it's the Texas Rangers against the New York Yankees, Game 1 of the 1996 Divisional Series. Hello there, everybody. This is Eric Nadel along with Brrad Sham. The Rangers play their first playoff game ever tonight, and they do it against the New York Yankees franchise that has 22 World Championship banners flying here at Yankee Stadium.
The Rangers' first ever playoff series came against the Yankees in the house that Ruth built. But it was Juan Gonzalez who made the Rangers feel right at home.
1-1 on Gonzalez. Cone will look back at second. Comes home and Gonzalez swings and belts one to left. Down the line. Raines on the run. This one is gone. It's a 3-run homer for Juan Gonzalez.
Juan swings, lines one deep. Down the line and left. It's hooking, and that ball is history. A home run for Juan Gonzalez. It just barely clears it left and hooks inside the foul pole.
Texas would go on to win its first ever playoff game, and while the series outcome may have disappointed Rangers fans, no one will ever forget Juan Gonzalez's heroic effort, one that put his name and the Rangers in the postseason record book.
1-0 pitch. Swung on and hit high in the air to left field. Then goes Raines. He can only watch.
He set that goal back in spring training early when I said he came into camp early, and Juan set personal goals that he needed to get back into that elite group of players with the Albert Bells, the Frank Thomases, the Ken Griffey Jr.'s as one of the top young sluggers in the game.
A long way back. O'Neill at the track. He's looking up. It is gone. Set off the fireworks now. Juan Gonzalez ties the game with his 4th home run of the series.
When we got into the playoffs, Juan Gonzalez put the Texas Rangers on the map.
Gonzalez to lead it off. Bullringer swings and Gonzalez ripped one. Kiss it goodbye. This one is gone to deep left field. It's 3-0 Texas, and Gonzalez has tied the record.
The 1996 Texas Rangers team will be remembered for its breakthrough season, a first-ever division title, and the American League MVP award for Juan Gonzalez. And as the team looks to 1997, there's reason for optimism.
The stretch by Wetland. The 1-2 pitch. Homer swings and misses. The Yankees win the game and the series. And the Rangers' season is over.
In a move of if you can't beat them, sign them, Doug Melvin inked the Yankees closer to a Rangers contract.
We're looking forward to a good 97 season and, filling our bullpen needs with a John Wetland, MVP of the World Series, and, expecting our regular lineup to be back.
Our regular lineup is back, too. Eric Nadel and Brrad Sham are standing by to call the action as the Texas Rangers begin their quest to defend their title as American League West Division champions. For writer-producer Randy Brown, I'm Roger Emmerich. Now, sit back and enjoy opening day 1997 from the ballpark in Arlington.
With the voice of summer, things are heating up. We're ready to play, gonna show our stuff. The park is crowded, cause today's the day. We're the Texas Rangers, and we came to play.
The Texas Rangers are on the air. This play-by-play broadcast with Eric Nadel and Brrad Sham is for
America's Truck Stop, the new Dodge, for Nations Bank, your source for home improvement loans, for your North Texas Chrysler Plymouth dealers, for Albertsons, it's your store, and for your Texas Jeep and Eagle dealers.
And bring the family and listen to the radio. Listen to the radio.
Now, with the Texas Rangers, here's Eric Nadel.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
From the ballpark in Arlington, it's the Texas Rangers against the Milwaukee Brewers. Opening day, 1997. Hello there, everybody. This is Eric Nadel along with Brrad Sham, Ted Nichols Payne, our engineer, and Jeff Kuster on the scoreboard. You have just heard Neil McCoy's rendition of the national anthem. And hundreds of red, white, and blue balloons have now been released beyond the center field fence, heading skyward above the office building in center field on what has turned out to be a very nice day, at least for now, although we have a forecast for possible showers this afternoon. At the moment, it is 69 degrees under partly cloudy skies. There is some blue up above us as the Rangers and Brewers get set to open the season. This game is now a complete sellout. So if you're on their way out to the ballpark and you don't have tickets, you may want to turn around. This is a complete sellout as the Rangers open up their 26th season and open up as West Division champions for the first time ever. The Rangers and Brewers played 13 times last year, and the Brewers were a real nemesis for the Rangers, especially in September when they came in here to the ballpark and won 3 out of 4 before the Rangers headed off to Seattle for that nightmarish 4-game series. But the Rangers did win the season series last year, 7-6 against Milwaukee. The ceremonial first pitch ceremony is going on right now. This year's Texas hero, Randy DiOrio, a City of Arlington officer whose bravery resulted in the saving of a young boy's life last spring, throwing the ceremonial first pitch to Ranger bullpen coach Larry Hardy. The place is packed. Lots of folks wearing red today. Ken Hill will make his second opening day start for the Rangers. Hill beat the Red Sox on opening day last year on the way to winning the Ranger Pitcher of the Year award when he was 16-10. He's 31 years old from Lynn, Massachusetts. Now lives in West Palm Beach, Florida, 6'2" and 205 pounds. This will be his third opening day assignment. He also started on opening day in 1995 for the Cardinals. And for the Milwaukee Brewers, it's Big Ben McDonald making his first opening day start. He's 29 years old from Denham Springs, Louisiana. At 6'7", 215 pounds, McDonald is pitching in the ballpark that is closest of any in the American League to his Louisiana home, and he has never lost in Arlington. He is 6-0 lifetime pitching in Arlington at Arlington Stadium and here in the ballpark, and 7-2 overall against the Rangers. Last year, McDonald, a 12-10 record for the Brewers, plagued by non-support in the second half of the season. He seemed for a while to have a shot to win 18 to 20 games, but the Brewers just didn't score for him in the second half. We'll have the starting lineups and the first pitch of the season for you right after this. The lineup cards are being exchanged. Phil Garner, the Brewers manager, in his 6th year, talking things over with Rangers third base coach Jerry Narron, who ceremoniously takes out the lineup card for Ranger manager Johnny Oates. And here's the way the Brewers lineup will look today. Fernando Vina leads it off, and he is at second base. Jeff Cirillo bats second, and Cirillo is the third baseman. Batting third, the designated hitter, David Nielsen. Nielsen hitting third. John Jaha is in the cleanup spot, and Jaha at first base. Jose Valentin is the shortstop. Valentin is batting fifth. Gerald Williams is in left field, and Williams bats sixth. The right fielder is Jeremy Burnitz. Burnitz is batting seventh. Chucky Carr is the center fielder, and Carr is batting eighth. And the catcher is Mike Matheny, and Matheny hitting ninth. Vina, Cirillo, and Nielsen, Jaha, Valentin, and Williams, Burnitz, Carr, and Matheny for the Brewers, with Ben McDonald on the mound. For the Rangers, Mark McLemore will be the leadoff batter, and the Rangers now are taking the field below us in their white home uniforms trimmed in red. And the crowd giving a nice ovation to the 1996 American League West Division champions. McLemore leads off at second base. Pudge Rodriguez is batting second, and he is the catcher. Rusty Greer is in the lineup in left field, and Greer is hitting third. Dean Palmer, the cleanup man, and Palmer at third base. Lee Stevens is filling in for Will Clark today at first base. Clark with a sprained left wrist, as well as a fractured middle finger on his left hand. Stevens bats fifth, plays first base. Mickey Tettleton is the DH. Tettleton hitting sixth. Warren Newson in right field. That's Juan Gonzalez's position, but Juan is expected to miss the month of April with a thumb injury, so Newson bats seventh, and he's in right. Damon Buford is the center fielder. Buford is hitting eighth, and Benji Gill is the shortstop, and Gill is batting ninth. With Ken Hill on the mound, Davey Phillips will call the balls and strikes. He is the crew chief. Rocky Rowe umpires at first, Sherwood Merrill at second, and Dale Scott at third. And Brad, this game is finally a sellout, and it was interesting to watch as the Rangers were introduced. The biggest ovation of all went to the manager of the year.
Johnny Oates got a standing ovation, and the people actually, I think, embarrassed him a little bit, but in a great way. They wouldn't let him not be in center stage. It was really heartwarming, and I think it really moved Johnny Oates too. I think the other biggest ovation, interestingly, was for Juan Gonzalez, who is in uniform even though he's on the disabled list. The whole team and staff were introduced, and everybody got a big hand. Rusty Greer and McLemore, Tettleton, and Clark, but Gonzalez among the players, I thought, got the biggest ovation, and Johnny Oates, that was really something. I think he may have been a little surprised. And I think it speaks to all the things, Eric, that they've been trying to do and talk about as the way that they live day to day as a franchise. Johnny Oates sets that tone.
Well, we are just about ready to go. Ken Hill, who pitched into the 9th inning on opening day last year and beating the Red Sox 5-3, is facing the team that gave him the most trouble last year. He was 1-3 against the Brewers with an earned run average above 10. Fernando Vina, the pesky second baseman, will lead it off. Vina hit .283 last year with 7 home runs. He had a 5-hit game against the Rangers and batted .333 against this club. 27-year-old left-handed batter to lead it off. The Brewers in their traveling grays, trimmed in dark blue, gold, and green. Hill over the top, and the first pitch of the year is a fastball that is high for ball 1. Palmer in on the grass at third against the possible bunt. Stevens even with the bag at first. There is an all-new grass surface here at the ballpark, put down by the new field superintendent, Tom Burns. It looks great. 1-0 pitch is high, and Hill has missed on another fastball, and it is 2-0. The Rangers in the outfield shading Vina toward left, the opposite way. Hill is ready, and the 2-0 pitch on the way, and there's a strike at the knees. It's 2-1. Hill, a fastball slider, split finger pitcher who has been working on a slow curveball in spring training. We'll see if he unveils it during the regular year. He's working 2-1 to Vina. Hill over the top and comes home, and it's lined toward short. Backhanded by Gill as he lunges to his right, grabs it in the air, and skids to a knee. There is out number 1.
Well, it won't do anybody any harm to have Benji Gill make a nice defensive play on the first out of the season. That was a sharply hit ball, could easily have been a hit. Takes very quick reactions to move to where that ball is. Benji had to go to his knees, as you said, so he's got the first dirty uniform part of the season, and that's a good way to start.
An immediate star appearing in our scorebook as Gill turns a possible hit into an out, and that's what the Rangers expect from him. And now Jeff Cirillo, who hit .325 last year, right-handed batting third baseman, and he takes high. Hill having trouble getting his fastball down in the early going. He fell behind in the count, 2-0 to Vina, before getting him on a 2-1 pitch. David Nielsen on deck. The crowd still settling into their seats. 1-0 pitch. That's low, and Hill's behind again at 2-0. It's .325 down the right field line here at the ballpark. That's the shortest distance. It's .332 down the left field line with a big 14-foot high wall in left. 2-0 pitch. That's high, and Hill is behind at 3-0. That 14-foot high wall with the out-of-town scoreboard extends to the visitors' bullpen in left center, where it's .390. Dead center is 400 feet away. 3-0, Cirillo's taken, and it's a strike. The deepest part of the yard is 407 to deep right center field. It's 404 to deep left center. And an 8-foot high wall runs from the right field foul pole to left center. 3-1, and Hill misses again with a fastball high, and he has walked Cirillo with 1 out in the top of the first inning. Hill not trying to be fancy here. He just has been unable to get his fastball down below the belt. 1 out, and Cirillo aboard at first. And here's David Nielsen, the left-handed batter, the designated hitter from Australia. He was 6th in the American League in hitting last year at .331. He has power. He hit 17 home runs, drove in 84 runs. And he was the first man ever to homer at the ballpark when it opened in 1994. The Rangers look for the double play. The pitch to Nielsen. Strike as Hill took something off and got it in at the knees. Nielsen deadly against right-handed pitching last year. He batted almost .360 against righties. His power numbers would have been bigger, but he missed about 40 games due to injury. 0-1. And the pitch is swung on slowly, grounded to the left of McLemore. He's got it. His only play is to first. He flips to Stevens for the out. Moving down to second base is Cirillo on the slow roller. And the batter will be John Jaha, who has been not only a longtime Ranger nemesis, but the toughest man in this order for Ken Hill to get out. Jaha last year went 6 for 14 off Hill, almost a .500 average, and hit 3 home runs. No score, top of the first, and the sun has broken through in all its glory. This beautiful field is bathed in sunshine right now. Righty against righty as Jaha stands in. The 30-year-old DH who shares time at first with Nielsen and is playing first today. And he swings and misses on a fastball bearing in on his hands. It's 0-1. Last year, Jaha was 9th in the league in RBIs. He led the Brewers with 118. He hit 34 homers, batted 300, in a breakout season for him. Out of Portland, Oregon. Jose Valentin on deck. Pitch to Jaha. Swing and a miss on a slider low and away. And for the first time, Hill gets ahead of a batter. Rodriguez snaps a throw down to McLemore at second and almost catches Cirillo napping. Just got back. As Rodriguez made it look like he was throwing the ball back to Hill and shot it all the way down to McLemore, sneaking in behind the runner. The Rangers are spread out in the outfield straight away against Jaha. On the infield, McLemore plays him over toward the middle. 0-2. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball low. Stevens, the first baseman, is way off the line. He's about 30 feet from the bag. Palmer and Gill straight up at third and short. And deep. 1-2. Crowd comes to life. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. Breaking ball. Check swing. Did he go around? No, says the first base umpire, Rocky Roll. And Jaha, who started to swing on a slider down and away, held up in time. Coaching at third, Chris Bando for the Brewers, the younger brother of their general manager, Sal Bando. And on the lines at first, former Brewer second baseman, Jimmy Gantner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a man at second. Hill is ready, and here it comes, and it's fouled off. A little squibber off to the photographer's well on the home plate side of the Rangers dugout. The Rangers occupy the first base dugout here at the ballpark. The visitors take the third base side. Left field is the Sun Field here, both for the fans and the players. A tough sun right now for the folks on the left side of the defense. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Fastball at the knees. Jaha has struck out, and the Brewers failed to score in the first. No runs, no hits, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Brewers nothing and the Rangers coming up. Mark McLemore will lead off the Ranger half of the first inning, with Ken Hill having stranded a runner at second base in the top of the inning. How McLemore will do in the leadoff spot, taking over in that position for Darrell Hamilton, will have a lot to say regarding how far the Rangers go offensively this year. Last year, McLemore had a .389 on-base percentage, usually batting at the bottom of the order. But Brady actually had a considerably higher on-base percentage than Darrell Hamilton did.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, and McLemore embraces the leadoff role. He looks forward to it. He's never had the opportunity to do it before. He likes to tell the story about how he was all set to be the Angels leadoff man one year until Brian Downing decided he wanted to, and Downing was bigger, so he got the job. But I think Mac's really looking forward to it.
Mac has had some success against Ben McDonald in the past. Not many of the Rangers have. 32-year-old Mark McLemore steps in from the left side. The switch hitter takes the first pitch from McDonald for a strike. McDonald with a full repertoire of pitches, and he is a power pitcher. Fastball in the 90s, a good curve, a changeup, a forkball, a slider. 0-1. And the pitch to Mac, swung on, lifted high in the air to left field. Angling back a few strides, Gerald Williams, and the left fielder has it. The wind, as usual, is blowing in from right field, which sometimes hurts the ball hit in the air to right, and sometimes helps it. Now Pudge Rodriguez gets a big round of applause as he steps in. Pudge, who hit .300 last year with a career-high 19 homers, a Ranger club record for a catcher, 86 RBIs. He set a major league record for doubles in a season, and he's almost a .500 lifetime hitter off of Ben McDonald. But after these two guys, the success against McDonald comes to an end as you go down the Ranger lineup. They are playing Rodriguez to pull in the outfield and on the infield. Some teams don't play him that way. 25 years old from Vega Baja, Puerto Rico. Pudge swings and rolls 1 foul into the Brewers' third base dugout. Ben McDonald with a 12-10 record last year and a career record of 70 wins and 63 losses. He had a good spring. He was 3-0. The Rangers didn't play the Brewers in spring training. A 1 pitch is inside, 1-1. The Brewers have been in Texas for a few days. They played their last couple of exhibition games in El Paso, where they have their AA team. Jerry Narron coaching at third, Ed Napoleon at first for the Rangers. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Low and outside, a fastball, and it's 2-1. McDonald, a former basketball star at LSU. Throws a lot of arms and legs at you. Signed as a free agent by the Brewers prior to last season. The 2-1 pitch. Rodriguez a swing and a ground ball left side. Diving Cirillo to his left. He gets up, he throws, and he got him. A fine play by Jeff Cirillo to rob Rodriguez of a hit. And defense, which has been a problem for the Brewers in recent years, not a problem for Cirillo on that play.
No, they have 4 guys out there with the pitcher and the middle infielders and the third baseman who led their positions in errors last year in the American League. But if Benji Gill got a star for the play he made on Vina to start off, then Cirillo's got to get at least a star and a half for this. That was a tough play and very nicely done.
Now Rusty Greer, 2 up, 2 down, no score. And a swing and a foul ball back. Greer, who bruised his right shoulder and suffered a sprained neck 1 week ago tonight in Sarasota. Missed the last couple of exhibition games, but back in the lineup. He was 5th in the league in hitting last year at .332. Drove in 100 runs. The 0-1 pitch to Rusty is high for a ball. Greer had 18 home runs last year. 28 years old from the University of Montevallo in Alabama. Dean Palmer on deck. Ben McDonald working 1-1 to Greer. And the pitch. Swung on, drilled through the hole left side, base hit. A sharp one-hopper the other way between Cirillo and Valentin. And Rusty Greer delivers the Rangers' first hit of the year. Now Dean Palmer, who occupies the cleanup spot in the absence of Juan Gonzalez. Palmer last year batted .280 with 38 homers and 107 RBIs. Dean missed the opener last year. He had a slight leg muscle pull and gave way to Craig Worthington, who hit a home run and made a sensational play at third base. So Palmer back in the lineup for his 5th opener. His streak of 4 years in a row ended last year. McDonald set, and here's the pitch, and it is inside for ball 1. Ben McDonald can be run on. He has a high leg kick that he only somewhat reduces with men on base. Mike Matheny is a good throwing catcher. The second baseman, Vina, is way over toward the middle. The right side of the infield completely open for Palmer. The 1-0 pitch. Inside and low, 2 balls and no strikes.
That is about as severe a shift as I think we've seen in a couple of years for Dean Palmer. And he, unlike Mickey Tettleton, who almost never hits the ball the other way, Dean can. Now, he doesn't hit a lot of ground balls to the right side, but he is capable of going the other way. That's something that could backfire on the Brewers, but it's just interesting to see them play him that way.
It's a 2-0 count. Lee Stevens is on deck. No score first inning, and Greer at first with 2 outs. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss on a low fastball, and it's 2-1. Palmer last year set a Ranger club record for home runs by an infielder with 38, besting Rafael Palmeiro's 37 as a first baseman back in '93. It was the 6th most homers ever by an American League third baseman. 2 balls and 1 strike to Palmer. And a lob over to first base. And Greer steps back on the bag. Palmer, among the Rangers' all-time leaders in home runs, now has 140 in his career. 2 balls and a strike. Greer a short lead at first. McDonald set at the letters. And the pitch swung on, grounded on the right side. It's through that big hole for a base hit. Greer around second on his way to third. The ball is bobbled in short right, but Rusty will hold it third. And Palmer has taken what they have given him and rolled a ground ball to the right of the first baseman through the wide open right side.
Thank you very much. I don't think that was a case of a blind squirrel finding an acorn either. That pitch was down and in. And Palmer, exactly as you said, Eric, was trying to get the ball on the ground over there. We mentioned he doesn't do it a lot on the ground, but he does do some. That's nice situational hitting for Dean Palmer.
And it gives Lee Stevens a chance to break the scoreless tie. Men at first and third and 2 outs. Stevens, the 29-year-old out of Lawrence, Kansas, made the team with some real hot hitting and stayed hot throughout spring training. The pitch to the lefty is low for a ball. Stevens was up with the Rangers for most of the second half last year, but still won the MVP of the American Association. He hit .231 with the Rangers, 3 homers, 12 RBIs in 27 games. Greer at third, Palmer at first. The stretch by McDonald, and the pitch swung on and fouled back. They are playing Stevens straight away in the outfield. And on the infield, they have Valentine, the shortstop, way over towards second base. Cirillo about 20 feet off the line at third. And the second baseman, Vina, playing on the outfield grass in a straight-up position. Jaha holds the runner at first base. 1-1 to Lee Stevens, who hit over 400 for spring training. Mickey Tettleton on deck. McDonald comes set. And in comes the pitch, and Stevens swings and bounces one foul behind first base coach Ed Napoleon. McDonald is in on the count at 1-2 to Lee Stevens. Stevens was in a battle all spring for the final spot on the bench, battling with Tom O'Malley and Mike Sims. Stevens not only won the job, but won himself a spot in the opening day lineup when Will Clark went down with the wrist injury. Johnny Oates did have other choices, but he said he wanted to get the hot bat in there. He's in the number 5 position. The count is 1-2. Here's the stretch, and a throw over to first base, and Palmer is back standing. The first 2 batters were retired. McLemore on a fly ball, Rodriguez on a ground ball. But 2 opposite field ground ball hits by Greer and Palmer have given the Rangers runners at the corners. McDonald looks into Matheny for the sign. Feet spread wide apart on the hill. The right-hander is set. And in comes the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, and a high drive well hit to right field. Burnitz is back. He is on the warning track, and that ball is history. Lee Stevens has hit a 3-run homer, and the Rangers have a 3-0 lead.
Not only did he hit a home run, Eric, listen to this ovation. Lee Stevens put that ball in the porch. Wow.
The ballpark is on its feet for Lee Stevens, who hit 2 big league home runs last year and just golfed a pitch below the knees into the upper porch.
Well, they'll be calling Will Wally in the dugout.
A reference to Wally Pipp, who gave way to Lou Gehrig. Now Mickey Tettleton, and he takes a strike. Well, there have been 18 home runs into the upper porch in the 3 years plus 1 day that the ballpark has been open. Stevens hits the 18th of those, 433 feet. Pitch to Tettleton is low for a ball. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the longest home run ever hit into the porch. If that is the distance that they stick with, 433. Kirk Gibson had the longest at 430. Pitch to Mickey, swung on, ground ball right side. They're in the overshift, and Vina to his left comes up with it and flips to first to get Tettleton and end the inning. But the Rangers get 3 runs on 3 hits. Lee Stevens' 3-run shot to the porch. And at the end of 1, it's the Rangers 3 and the Brewers nothing. On to the second inning we go. The Rangers with a 3-0 lead, and Jose Valentin will lead it off for Milwaukee, to be followed by Gerald Williams and Jeremy Burnitz. Valentin hit .259 last year and slugged 24 home runs, drove in 95 runs. The pitch to the switch hitter is outside for a ball. Jose Valentin is the man who appears on the Milwaukee Brewers media guide cover this year. The 1-0 pitch. And there's a breaking ball low, 2-0.
Last year was Bob Uecker. I don't know what the significance is of that necessarily.
Jaha was their man of the year last year. 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss. But Jaha can be a free agent after the season. I guess they don't want to make any long-term commitments to him in print.
Apparently not.
Ben McDonald can also be a free agent next year if he exercises a clause in his contract. 2-1. And the pitch is high, and Ken Hill falls behind it, 3-1. Hill was behind the first 2 hitters of the ball game, walked the second batter. And that's the only base runner the Brewers had. Now it's 3-1 to Valentin, and the pitch is high, and Hill is still having trouble getting his fastball down. Valentin a leadoff walk, with Hill possessing a 3-0 Texas lead. The batter is Gerald Williams, who hit .207 last year after coming over from the Yankees.
And this is not spring training anymore. Hill is not out there getting in his work. He now has a 3-run lead. The sequence of pitches is different. The strategy in trying to set up hitters is different. And he does not want to be walking people after he's just been given a 3-run lead, I'll promise you.
Righty against righty. And the pitch to Williams is fouled back. Mark Newfield will normally be the Brewers' starting left fielder, but he is out of the starting lineup with a slight hamstring pull. Williams at times will play center field. May wind up as the regular center fielder. 0-1. Hill delivers, and a swing and a ground ball foul past third base, and it's 0-2. One other game going in the American League this afternoon. The Blue Jays are leading the White Sox 4-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning at Skydome. Had Hentgen against Jamie Navarro. Delgado and Gonzalez homered for the Blue Jays. Kansas City and Baltimore postponed due to inclement weather. 0-2, and here's the pitch. Check swing on a slider. He went around, and Williams has struck out. He could not hold up on a sharp slider down and away. And Hill gets him on an 0-2 pitch. Second strikeout for Ken. 1 out in the second. The Rangers leading 3-0. And Jeremy Burnett's the hitter. Burnett's last year batted .236 in 23 games after coming over from the Indians in the deal that sent Kevin Seitzer over to Cleveland. Tonight, New York will be at Seattle and Detroit at Minnesota. Hill is ready. Infield at double play depth against the lefty Burnitz. The pitch is wide for ball 1. The Cards and Expos are tied 1-1 after 7. Stottlemyre against Bollinger in Quebec. And Cincinnati leading Colorado 4-1 after 2 in Cincinnati. Smiley against Ritz. Willie Green and Vinny Castilla have homered. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch to Burnitz is swung on and missed. Hill changed up on him, and it's 1-1. The Cubs at Florida, Philadelphia at Los Angeles, Pittsburgh at San Francisco, the Mets at San Diego later on, and tonight Atlanta at Houston. There's a complete look at the schedule. A ball and a strike. Hill at the bell. Kicks and fires, and the pitch is looped into short center field, and that will fall in front of Damon Buford for a base hit. Stopping at second base is Valentine. With 1 out, Chucky Carr is coming up. And let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Texas Rangers Radio Network. Carr, a switch hitter who last year had his season end on May 30th when he tore up his right knee trying to make a leaping catch at the wall. Wound up the year hitting .274, playing only 27 games. He has a lot of speed. The Rangers have Palmer in at third against a possible bunt with 1 out and 2 men on. 3-0 Texas the score, and the pitch is low. He bluffed a bunt. Rodriguez looked to throw to second base but chose not to, as the runner Valentine and the shortstop Gill were in a race for the bag. The outfield way around to the left against Carr and not very deep. Hill has permitted a leadoff walk and a 1 out looping single. The number 9 batter, Mike Matheny, on deck. Hill at the bell. And in comes the pitch. There's a strike, a fastball in. It's 1-1. Hill won 16 games last year, lost only 10. It was the 3rd time in his career he's won 16 games. And he carries a career record of 90 wins and 71 losses into this season. The stretch. And the right-hander deals. Breaking ball popped up behind the plate. Rodriguez giving chase to the screen, but this one is back out of play. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. There are still plenty of tickets left for Thursday, which is opening night here at the ballpark. The Rangers and the Brewers, John Burkett against Cal Eldred. You can come out early at 6:30 for an oldies concert. And after the game, you'll see a spectacular fireworks show, compliments of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. For ticket information, the number to call is Metro 817-273-5100. The box office is open this afternoon. Give them a call. 1-2, and Hill is ready. Here's the pitch. Fouled back. Fastball in on the hands. The Orioles will be here this weekend for games Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. The Orioles pitching rotation has been scrambled by an elbow injury to Mike Messina, and then their rain out today, which will be made up tomorrow. So we're not quite sure who we'll see in the 3 games this weekend against Baltimore. Jimmy Key was set to replace Messina as the starting pitcher and then pitch again on Sunday, but since he's pitching tomorrow, he probably won't pitch Sunday. 1-2, and the pitch way inside. That spins Carr out of the way. And it's 2-2. Carr faced Hill several times in the National League before Hill signed with the Rangers last season. Had 2 hits in 14 tries. He's the tying run at the plate with Valentin at second, Burnitz at first, and 1 out in a 3-0 ball game here in the second. The stretch by Hill. And the 2-2 pitch. Check swing on a ball outside. Tailing fastball down and away. That runs the count full. And we'll see now whether Phil Garner perhaps will start the runners. A very aggressive manager, particularly in his first few years in the league. He has calmed down considerably the last 2 years, especially against the Rangers when Rodriguez is catching. Valentin at second has very good speed. Here's the stretch. The runners don't go, and the pitch is a call. Strike 3. Fastball away. Carr bangs his bat down on the first baseline and spins and heads to the dugout. He does not appear to say anything to Davy Phillips. I don't believe he was arguing the call. I think he was a bit frustrated that Hill made a perfect pitch.
Yeah, and that he was completely fooled. I think that's 100% right. He knew that was a strike. A fastball tailing away. It was not what he was expecting. And he knew that Hill had worked him and set him up and then put him away completely. That was a nice piece of pitching by Hill.
2 on and 2 outs, 3-0 Texas. And here's Mike Matheny, the number 9 batter. He hit just .204 last year. Out of the University of Michigan, Matheny takes a strike. He did hit a home run off of Ken Hill last season. He was 2 for 8 against Ken. This is the second year in a row for Matheny as the opening day catcher. The Brewers also have a left-handed hitting catcher, Jesse Levis. Fernando Vina on deck. Valentin at second base, Burnitz at first. The Rangers play Matheny straight away in the outfield. The 0-1 pitch is on the way, and it's a bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ken Hill and that familiar number 44. Signed as a free agent with the Rangers last year. And won the Ranger Pitcher of the Year award. He was second in the league in complete games. First in shutouts. Third in innings pitched. 1 ball and 1 strike. And in comes the pitch. Breaking ball. Strike on the outside corner. Hill with a slider. And then dropped down to his knees as it looked like Rodriguez had an eye toward second base. The count is 1-2. Boy, what a nasty late breaking slider that was.
That had a really big break for a slider, but it definitely was a slider.
Hill is in on the count at 1-2 to the right-handed hitter. Matheny waiting. And here it comes. Slider, strike 3 call on the outside corner. A beauty. And Matheny heads back to the dugout with his bat in his hand. Hill has struck out the side in the second. He has 4 strikeouts for the game. No runs, a hit, and 2 left for the Brewers. After an inning and a half, it's 3-0 Texas. To the bottom of the second we go. The Rangers leading the Brewers by the score of 3-0 on what has turned out to be a spectacular afternoon. 71 degrees. It is now mostly sunny. Primarily blue skies up ahead. The Rangers have out-hit the Brewers 3-1, and the last Ranger hit landed in the upper porch off the bat of Lee Stevens. Warren Newson stands in. The Deacon hit .255 last year with 10 homers, and he swings and misses 0-1. Newson was critical to the Rangers' success last May, a month in which Juan Gonzalez was out of action. And Newson drove in 13 runs, hit over 300. The pitch is a fastball high to the man from Noonan, Georgia. 1 ball, 1 strike. Newson, a lefty, is platooning in right field with Mike Devereaux. The 1-1 pitch. Strike call on the outside corner. Davy Phillips appears to have a rather wide plate in the early going today. And that has helped both pitchers. Now McDonald ready, winds and delivers. And Newson swings, hits a grounder foul past first base coach Ed Napoleon. We will have our post-game show today, however. 1-2. Swung on, fouled back. That will include a game recap, hopefully a star of the game interview, and a full rundown of scores around the league. And remember that the Johnny Oates show and the warm-up show this season will be 5 minutes earlier than in the past. The Johnny Oates show at 7:10 before the 7:35 games, and then Brad's warm-up show at 7:15. 1-2 pitch. That is high to Newsom. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Major League Report on our flagship will be at 7 o'clock on Thursday evening. McDonald working 2-2. And here's the pitch to Newsom. Swung on, and a high chopper hit out to second baseman Fernando Vina. He gloves it neck high, flips to first, and Newsom is out. 1 away, and here's Damon Buford. The center fielder hit .283 last year in 90 games as a part-time player, filling in at all 3 outfield positions. He had 6 home runs and 20 runs batted in. He had a sensational spring defensively and an effective spring offensively. The son of former big leaguer Don Buford. The pitch to Damon is a fastball strike at the belt, and it's 0-1.
What a very nice way that was to put it. A very effective spring. Efficient.
He's got some pop in his bat.
Is that legal?
I'm not sure. Wearing the number 2, and the pitch inside might have grazed him. Buford is heading for first base, and Davy Phillips, the home plate umpire, is trying to call him back. Either saying that the ball did not hit Buford, or perhaps even saying that it hit the bat, and that not only is he not being awarded first, he's being charged with a strike. I believe that's the decision that was made by Davy Phillips. So it's not even a 1-1 count. The count would go to 0-2.
Well, we get another look at it. We have a replay screen up here, and it looks like Davy made the right call. But, you know, good job by Buford to try to sell it.
Worth a try. Now here's the 0-2 delivery. Swung on and fouled off. Buford reaching for an outside pitch. Just barely got the end of the bat on it. Ben McDonald, at the age of 29, is the second oldest player on the Brewer roster. This is a young Brewer team that last year finished 80-82. Doug Jones, the relief pitcher, is the only man older than McDonald. They didn't do a lot in the offseason, but they made several moves last year during the season to rebuild their team. 0-2 pitch. It's high for a ball. They made the trades that brought over Gerald Williams and Jeremy Burnitz and Mark Newfield. Overhauled their outfield completely. Got Ron Vallone for the bullpen and Bryce Flory. 1-2. Here's a swing and a ground ball to third. To his left, Cirillo picks it nicely. Fires over to first, and Buford is out. 2 up and 2 down in the bottom of the second. The Rangers leading 3-0, and Benji Gill making his way to the plate. Benji, who was the Ranger Rookie of the Year 2 years ago, suffered a back injury last season in spring training, underwent disc surgery, and wound up spending most of the year at Oklahoma City. He has reclaimed his job. He hit .219 with 9 homers 2 years ago and played very good defense. The pitch by McDonald. Breaking ball strike. Now this is the 3rd year in which Gill has been the Rangers starting shortstop. He started in '93 when Manuel Lee was hurt, in '95, and now again in '97. The 0-1 pitch. Low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, people forget that '93, don't they?
Yeah, he was only 20 years old, and he really was overmatched by big league pitching that year. Jeff Hewson, the backup shortstop, was also hurt at the time. The 1-1. Gill a swing and a little nubber past the mound toward the second baseman Vina. He charges, throws to first high, but Jaha stays on the bag, and Gill is out. The Rangers have gone in order. After 2 complete, it's the Rangers 3 and the Brewers nothing. On to the 3rd we go at the ballpark. Eric Nadel with Brrad Sham. The Rangers leading 3-0. And here's Brad.
Thanks, Eric. It will be the top of the order for Phil Garner's Brewers. Vina, Cirillo, and Nilsson against Ken Hill. Lee Stevens' first inning home run off Ben McDonald, accounting for all the runs. And Vina lined out to Gill on a nice play by Benji in the hole to his right. Palmer plays in on the edge of the grass. And the pitch to Vina, he runs up to bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes it wide for ball 1. And Stevens also creeping in from the edge of the grass as Fernando Vina, dangerous offensive player, good leadoff man, threatens the bunt. Now the 1-0 pitch from Hill, a breaking ball strike at the knees, and it's 1-1. The Rangers today on opening day with Palmer at third, Gill at short, McLemore at second, Stevens for the injured Clark at first. Here is the 1-1 pitch, and Vigna swings and smashes one right through the middle, a base hit. Buford far to his left, to his knees, cuts it off. Vigna's going for 2. Here's the throw, head first slide. Vigna's safe with a double. Well, he really hit that ball hard. And Buford, who was playing him shaded toward left to hit the ball late, had a long, long run. Vigna runs well. And there's the second Milwaukee hit, a leadoff double.
And Ken Hill again left a pitch up in the strike zone. This appeared to be a breaking ball. And he hung that one up around belt high for Vigna.
Buford also juggled the ball as he was picking it up. But I don't think he was going to get Vigna at second base anyway. Well, now here is the third baseman, Jeff Cirillo, who walked his first time up. Hill has walked 2 and struck out 4. He struck out the side in the second inning. Comes set, and the pitch to the right-handed hitting Cirillo misses inside, ball 1. Hill has had trouble so far today locating his fastball with consistency. He's done it enough to make his slider extremely effective against the right-hand hitters in the first 2 innings especially. Now he comes set, looks back at Vigna at second. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss at a fastball. 1-1. A number of Brewers had very, very big years offensively against the Rangers last year, and Cirillo was one of them. He had 22 for 49 against Ranger pitching. Look back at second. And now Hill steps off the rubber. Gill is cheating in behind Vigna. And in the outfield, Greer, Buford, and Newson play Cirillo straight away. 3-0 Texas. The Brewers with the leadoff man on at second base, nobody out. And the pitch to Cirillo is fouled off out of play to the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count. Day off tomorrow for these teams, and with the weather forecast, they might have planned that just right, huh?
No kidding.
And then 7:35 Thursday night, game 2, and as Eric mentioned, opening night. Here's a look back at second by Hill. Vigna with a very big lead. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Down low for a ball. It's 2-2. Cirillo steps out, looks down at Chris Bando in the third base coach's box. Hill laboring just a little. Has not found a real good groove yet. The kind of rhythm that he wants. Comes set and looks back at Vigna. And the 2-2 pitch to Cirillo. Down low again, ball 3. You can kind of see the frustration in Ken Hill as he walks up to the top of the mound and scuffs the dirt around with his right foot. Just missing. And a smattering of applause from the fans. A full count. Nobody out. The 3-2 pitch to Cirillo is low, ball 4. And Hill has issued his third walk. And the Brewers again have the tying run up in the person of Dave Nielsen, a dangerous power hitter. The designated hitter who grounded to second last time, the left-handed hitter. And Nielsen, one of those who had a very big year against the Rangers last year. 13 runs batted in. That was the second most RBIs against the Rangers by any one hitter in the league last year. Harold Baines of the White Sox had 14. Then Nielsen. Vigna and Cirillo lead from first and second in the infield at double play depth. The first pitch swung on and hit high in the air, short right field. Newson in under it. Still coming, now makes the catch. And the runners will have to hold as Dave Nielsen goes after the first pitch. And there's a pretty dangerous hitter retired right there.
And Ken Hill went right after him, Brad, with a high fastball. Again, Hill's command has been extremely erratic in this ball game. He looked brilliant to the number 8 and 9 batters back in the second inning with 2 on when he got both Carr and Matheny looking at perfect pitches. And Dick Bosman has run out to the mound to talk to Ken Hill. This pitch to Dave Nielsen was up in the strike zone too, and he got an out on it, but it wasn't necessarily where Ken Hill wanted that pitch to be.
And the next hitter, the cleanup man, John Jaha, who Hill struck out the last time. Eric told you he's had some success against Hill in the past. And he is a dangerous hitter. And he had a huge year. He had a big year against everybody last year, but he had a huge year against the Rangers, and he's the tying run. On the other hand, a ground ball could get Hill out of the inning. He's got a 3-0 lead. We play in the third, 2 on, 1 out. Big John Jaha. Hill from the set comes home and misses low with a fastball, ball one. Jaha did ground into 16 double plays last year. And they play him pretty well straight away and a little deeper in the outfield. 1-0 the count. Long look at second by Hill. Now he steps off the rubber. They want to make sure that Vigna is not sending any signs in to Jaha, so they got to change all the signals. Cirillo, the runner at first. Stevens playing behind him. And here's the 1-0 pitch. Slider missed low and away, and it's 2-0. And really doesn't want to get too far behind Jaha. This is far enough, as a matter of fact. Hill is ready, has his sign. Here's the 2-0 pitch. There's a breaking ball strike, a throw to second, and just back in time is Vigna. Looked like Rodriguez had a chance on a pickoff play at second base, but Fernando Vigna dove back in just ahead of the tag by McLemore.
Looked like the call was correct by Durwood Merrill on a very close play. Hill made a beautiful pitch. He took something off his slider and dropped it in for a strike. And he has had more success with his slider today than he has with his fastball. He has missed repeatedly with the fastball.
2 balls and a strike, the runners lead. Hill comes home. Jaha swings and misses. That was a fastball, though.
I think that might have been a split finger, Brad. That ball had some downward movement at the end. Jaha reacted as if it were a fastball, but that had an awful lot of sinking action on it.
Now a 2-2 count. 3-0. The Rangers lead in the third. The Brewers have 2 men on with 1 out. And the cleanup hitter up, 2-2. The pitch to Jaha. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a breaking ball. Woo, boy, 5 for Ken Hill. That's a big one. And now another dangerous power hitter, Jose Valentin, the shortstop, who walked last time.
And that pitch was not a strike. It was down and away, just far enough off the plate that Jaha had to swing at it with 2 strikes.
The runners, Vigna and Cirillo, lead from second and first. Hill comes set, and the pitch to the left-handed hitter is a little low, ball one. The Hill's got 3 swinging strikeouts, and at least 2 of them were on pitches that I don't think were strikes, and maybe all 3. Now the pitch to Valentin. That's low, and he's behind again, 2-0. He is doing some of this the hard way. Remember, he was behind Jaha 2-0 there when he struck him out. The inning started with a leg double to center by Vigna. Then Cirillo walked on a 3-2 pitch. Nielsen popped up on the first pitch. Jaha, a swinging strikeout. Now 2-0 on Valentin, the shortstop. Long look at second. And the pitch is swung on and nubbed, foul down the third base side. 2 balls and a strike.
And that pitch was not in the strike zone. It was down and away, tailing away from Valentin, and he reached way out across the plate, made contact with it. He is prone to strike out, 145 strikeouts last year, and his eyes were big with a 2-0 count and 2 men on base.
Now has his sign from Chris Bando and steps back in. Wiry left-handed hitter. Waves the bat out over the plate. Hill looks back at second. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch missed high and away. And he's now in a little bit of a hole. 3 balls and a strike. Gerald Williams is the on-deck hitter. 3-0 Rangers. The Brewers mounting a threat here in the third. Here's the 3-1. Swung on and fouled back out of play just below us on the club concourse level. And he's got another full count at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And that was a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Brad, we're really seeing the battler in Ken Hill right now, the competitor who is out there with nothing close to his usual command and trying to get out of his 3rd straight jam.
And the crowd responding. You can hear the groundswell of applause. All these people decked in red, cheering for Hill with 3-2. The pitch is swung on, line to third, caught by Palmer chest high, and Hill has gotten out of the inning. The Brewers in the third, no runs, 1 hit and 2 men left. After 2.5, 3-0 Texas. A lot of folks in here at the ballpark today looking great in their Ranger memorabilia, red hats and red and white shirts. And You can get yours, and to know exactly what the choices are for a complimentary copy of the Rangers full-color merchandise catalog, call Metro 817-273-5015 or write to Texas Rangers Catalog Sales, Post Office Box 90111, Arlington, Texas. The zip is 76004. Johnny Oates himself at the Welcome Home luncheon yesterday put on by the Arlington Chamber of Commerce said he wanted everybody to wear red every time to the park, so got to get your red stuff. Here's McLemore to lead off the bottom of the third, and Ben McDonald throws him a big curveball in the dirt, ball one.
The seams on those baseballs on your tie
are red. There is red here, and I got red around the circle on the shirt and a little baseball. You are bedecked, however.
I've got the red tie and the red
striped shirt.
Yeah.
1-0 to McLemore. Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mac led off the game with a fly ball to left field. The Rangers 3 runs, 3 hits. The big hit, the 3-run home run to the upper porch by Lee Stevens in the first inning. The Brewers, no runs and 2 hits. But Ken Hill has walked 3 men in 3 innings, but he's wriggled off every hook. Here's the 1-1 pitch to McLemore, swing and a grounder to first. Big chop to Jaha, makes the play and takes 2 steps toward the bag. McLemore is out. 1 man gone, and here is Rodriguez. And he'll get another big hand. Pudge grounded to third on a very nice play by Cirillo. Back in the first inning. Cirillo, Valentin, Vina, and Jaha, the Milwaukee infield, third to first. And Cirillo again plays at the edge of the grass for Rodriguez. Williams, Carr, and Burnitz in the outfield, left to right. Matheny catching Big Ben McDonald, making his first ever Major League opening day start. Here's the kick and the pitch to Rodriguez. Swung on and grounded foul behind third, 0-1. Toronto and the White Sox are now in the bottom of the 7th at Skydome. It's 5-3 Blue Jays. The only other American League game in progress. Again, Kansas City and Baltimore postponed. Bad weather at Oriole Park. Here's McDonald's 0-1 pitch to Rodriguez. Swing and a sharp grounder to third. 1 big hop by Cirillo. Perfectly played. Throws across, and Rodriguez is out. 2 ground balls to the third baseman for him. And now here is Rusty Greer, who got the Rangers' first hit of the year and scored the Rangers' first run of 1997. Rusty had a 2-out single to left in the first inning. Palmer followed that with a critical at bat, especially if the Rangers wind up winning on those 3 runs they scored in the first and then the Stevens home run. Here's the first pitch to Greer, and a breaking ball misses, low, ball 1. Palmer's at bat came when we were talking about the fact that they were playing him almost overshifted to pull the ball, and he hit it through the right side. Here's the 1-0 to Rusty. There's a fastball low, and it's 2-0. National League has 2 games in progress. The Cardinals and the Expos are 1-1 in the bottom of the 9th in Montreal. And Colorado batting in the top of the 4th in Cincinnati, with the Reds leading 4-3. Ellis Burks has hit a home run in that game for the Rockies. It's the pitch to Rusty. There's a strike at the knees, 2-1. Montreal makes you think a little bit of the Brewers and what a small market team that's grown a lot of fine players, and the Expos couldn't hold on to theirs. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and Greer swings and slaps it to left. A line drive right at Williams. A few steps to his right. Reaches up, makes the catch, and the side is retired. The Rangers go in order in the 3rd. We go to the 4th with Texas leading Milwaukee 3-0. We go to the 4th inning. Rangers 3, Brewers nothing on opening day. Gerald Williams, Jeremy Burnitz, and Chucky Carr against Ken Hill, who has thrown 60 pitches in the first 3 innings, but he has struck out 5. Williams, the left fielder, struck swinging on a slider the last time on 3 pitches, in fact. Right-handed hitter. And Hill comes home, and Williams pulls the bat back out of his hand, pulls it with one hand back on his shoulder. That wasn't a bunt. That was a, you show me what you got, and Hill missed the inside for ball 1. Now the 1-0 pitch, swung on, popped up right side. Stevens and McLemore giving chase. Foul ground, Stevens about 3 steps in front of the signboard makes the catch. And Gerald Williams is out.
Now, that was a 1-0 pitch, Brad, and Ken Hill has fallen behind 10 of the first 15 hitters at 1-0, and that is working backwards.
Yes, it is. Here's the left-handed hitting Burnitz, the former Indian and Met. Single to center, the first Milwaukee Brewer hit of the year back in the second inning. And Hill's pitch to him, down low for a ball.
11 out of 16 have had a 1-0 count.
They play Burnitz straight away in the outfield. Hill's 1-0 pitch swing and a foul back. Bounced off Rodriguez. And it's 1-1. I'd like to remind you that some guests appearing on the Rangers radio network receive a round of golf for 4 to your choice of American golf courses in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. American Golf offers a variety of courses for every golfer. Here's the 1-1, and excuse me, check swing roller back to the mound. Hill off the mound to grab it to the third base side, turns and throws him out. Burnitz trying to stop his swing and tapped it back to the mound instead.
Nice seeing Ken Hill make a true throw to first on his first opportunity as a fielder. Late last season, he had some problems throwing to first and throwing to second after fielding ground balls and butts.
Now he's retired 5 hitters in a row, and here is Chucky Carr, the center fielder. Left-handed hitter. Palmer creeps in on the grass, and Carr swings and misses a fastball that would have been ball one if he'd taken it. High and away. The Rangers have never seen Carr before today. 0-1 pitch, fakes the bunt, pulls the bat back, it's a strike, and he's 0-2. Carr came from, as Dick Bosman calls it, the other league, and he got hurt, as Eric told you earlier, before the Rangers and Brewers ever saw each other last year. Now he's in an 0-2 hole. Here's Hill's pitch. Swinging a grounder to short. Skimmer to Gill. Picks it up and throws him out. And Hill has a 1-2-3 inning in the fourth. After 3.5, 3-0 Rangers. On to the bottom of the fourth inning. The Rangers with a 3-0 lead. And it'll be Palmer, Stevens, and Tettleton to face Ben McDonald. A lot of celebrity faces in the opening day crowd. The governor's here. It's always good to see the governor. And looks like former Ranger pitcher Mike Henneman is here, enjoying the game from his Colleyville home. It's good to see Henny, and nice to have an opportunity. Oh, he's out there in the bullpen talking to his boys. That's where he is. He's sitting in the outfield. That's the only way he knows how to watch a game this early.
He's heckling the guys in the bullpen.
Well, here's Dean Palmer. And a critical at bat for Dean. A single to right, a ground single back in the first that set up the Ranger 3-run rally. McDonald starts him off with a pitch low and inside, ball 1. I know Mike Henneman had his problems late last year after he'd gotten hurt, but I've said this before. If he hadn't saved all those games early, the Rangers might not have been in the shape they were in late. Here's the pitch. Palmer swings and fouls it back, and it's 1-1. Mike Henneman took a lot of gas from a lot of people last year who had never put on a major league uniform, gone out and played hurt, which is what he did. And if you don't think that Mike Henneman made a huge contribution to the Rangers winning the American League West, then you missed the point. That's my opinion.
Agreed.
Now they're still playing Dean to pull, but not quite as severely. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a big curve strike. Caught the outside corner, 1-2. Back in the first inning, the second baseman Vina was playing almost directly behind the bag. And Jaha was holding the runner on at first, and Palmer defied that shift and grounded a single through the right side. Now the pitch to him, swung on, ground ball to short. A couple of big hops for Valentin, guns across, and Palmer is out for the first time in 1997. One gone in the fourth, and then we should hear a pretty good cheer here for Lee Stevens. Pretty good cheer. Lee Stevens hit a home run against the Brewers last year. It was off Al Reyes. And this one off Ben McDonald in the first inning has given the Rangers their 3-0 lead. Here's the pitch. Oh, and inside a ball, 1-0.
And we talked earlier about how Craig Worthington filled in for an injured Palmer on opening day last year and hit a home run. Lee Stevens doing the same thing today, filling in for Clark.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a ground ball, right side, past Vigna into right field, a base hit. Stevens is 2 for 2. Will, that's Pip, P-I-P-P, Wally Pip.
And in between those 2 hits, 8 straight Rangers retired by Ben McDonald. And Lee Stevens is the Ranger offense right now, as he was for just about the last week of spring training, with few exceptions.
Hey, Will, if you're listening in the clubhouse, I'm just kidding, really. That is the standard joke in baseball that an injured guy always hears. Wally Pipp, the guy who got hurt, came out of the Yankee lineup, replaced by Lou Gehrig forever. Here's Tettleton. And the first pitch to Mickey, swung on, grounded to first, bobbled by Jaha, deflected to Vigna, who recovers and flips to first in time to get Tettleton, but Stevens alive at second base. Jaha almost looked, Eric, like he was trying to decide whether to throw to second or touch the base, and he got caught in between. And in this game, one of the things the players always say is you can't think. You got to go do.
Yeah, he came up a little bit too soon with his glove, probably starting his throw to second base.
So now here's Newson, and that little bit of indecision by Jaha. You score the play 3-4-3. And now the Rangers have a runner in scoring position with 2 out. Newson grounded to second last time. McDonald's pitch in the dirt, blocked by Matheny. A breaking ball, and it's 1-0. 3-4-3. Vigna with a quick reaction on the ground ball by Mickey Tettleton. Stevens at second with 2 out in the 4th. Rangers leading 3-0. McDonald's ready. And the 1-0 pitch way up high, and it's 2-0. Albert Bell hit his first home run as a White Sox today. Brought them within 5-4 of the Blue Jays in the 8th inning. And now the game is tied as Norberto Martin has hit a home run off the Blue Jays closer, Mike Timlin. First blown save of the year. Tie game in Toronto. Now they're going to walk Newson. He got behind him, 2 balls and no strikes, and with Buford, a right-handed hitter, up next, Phil Garner decided, let's just not mess around with this, and we'll put Warren Newson on. So Newson draws the first intentional walk of the year for the Rangers, and it's the first base on balls Ben McDonald has handed out today. And now with Stevens at second and Newson at first and 2 out, here is Buford, who grounded to third the last time. First final score of the season in the National League. Montreal has beaten the St. Louis Cardinals, the defending Central Division champions. 2-1 the final in Montreal. An opening day crowd of 33,000. Expos scored a run in the 9th to win that game. Here's McDonald set, and the pitch to Buford. Strike, a breaking ball in the outside corner. Ugi Urbina, the new closer this year for the Expos, with Mel Rojas gone to the Cubs, got the win. Lefty Tony Fossis got the loss. Montreal 2, St. Louis 1 a final. 3-0 Rangers here, 2 on, 2 out in the 4th. 0-1 on Buford. McDonald's pitch, a little wide, a ball. 1-1. Stevens with a ground single with 1 out. To second on a ground ball. Tettleton hit to Jaha for the 2nd out. Then Newson intentionally walked after he got behind in the count, 2-0. Now 1-1 on Buford. And McDonald's pitch. Swing and a foul back. Buford, for the first half of last year, had a very tough time hitting right-handed pitching. And he spent a lot of extra time with Rudy Jaramillo from about mid-season on. Those occasions when he would get to see right-handed pitching. And he wound up hitting over 270 against right-handers for the year. And now that he's the starter, since there are more right-handed pitchers in the league than lefties, he's going to have to hit them a little better. 1-2, and here's the pitch. Just missed off the corner. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think in the spring, Eric, he looked a little more selective to me than we saw him, I think, early last year and the times that he was so hungry for playing time.
I agree. Yeah, and I think that comes with playing regularly, too. You're not going to be as anxious up there.
Stevens and Newsom take their leads on 2-2. McDonald, a big set, a look back. The pitch is swung on and yanked down the left field line, a fair ball. Stevens around third, he's going to score. Newsom hustling to third, the throw to second. Buford slides with a double. An RBI for Damon Buford. It's 4-0 Rangers.
Well, the intentional walk backfires. That was a fastball in on the hands of Damon Buford. He had fouled off a similar pitch earlier in the at-bat, but this one was up a little higher. And McDonald, who was trying to throw the ball past Buford, belt high on the inside corner, could not get it by him. Damon's got a pretty quick bat.
And again, very big for him to be able to do that against a right-handed pitcher who can be very tough on right-handers. And now here is Benji Gill. Runners at second and third and 2 out. McDonald set the pitch to Benji, checked his swing on a breaking ball. He went around. And it's 0-1. Gill grounded to second last time. The Ranger lead now 4-0. 2 hits and the intentional walk in the inning. And don't forget the big bobble by Jaha helped set things up. Even though it wasn't an error. Who knows what would have happened if he fielded it cleanly. Here's the 0-1. Bounces away in the dirt, but Matheny keeps it in front of him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Damon Buford's first run batted into the year. We talked a lot about him during spring training, but who really just seemed very comfortable being a starting player. That's important when a guy gets that opportunity for the first time. 1-1 on Gill. Runners lead at second and third. Here's the pitch. Swing and a chop. Left side, Cirillo charges. Backhands, gloves and throws. Gill is out. The side's retired in the fourth, but the Rangers add a run. 2 hits and 2 men left. After 4, Texas 4, Milwaukee nothing. 2 run-scoring hits today coming with 2 men out for the Rangers. And as a result, Ken Hill still has a lead, and it's 4-0 now as we go to the 5th. It'll be Matheny, Vigna, and Cirillo, and here's Eric.
All right, Brad, thanks. It is Matheny who struck out looking with 2 men on and 2 outs to end the second inning, facing Ken Hill to start the 5th. Hill got out of a jam in the second by striking out Carr and Matheny, both looking with runners at first and second. Ken's first pitch here is fouled back to the screen. Hill now has retired 6 men in a row. By far his best stretch of the afternoon. It's the only time he has retired more than 2 batters in a row, but it's been 6 up and 6 down since Cirillo walked in the 3rd inning. The 0-1 pitch is on the way, and it's outside for a ball. In the bottom of the 5th, we will have our first home run inning of the year, sponsored by Albertsons and Nations Bank. Don't go away. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball low, 2-1. The home run inning also sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines, a proud sponsor of the home run contest, and Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Texas Rangers. 2-1. And the pitch to Matheny, check swing, foul ball. Off to the side of the plate. That one just a seat or 2 down from the governor. You have Secret Service guys or something to catch the ball that's hit that way?
It was the Secret Service guy who took the ball, as a matter of fact.
That was pretty close.
Well, and, the governor's signing autographs on anything and everything, and he's not. I don't think he's watched but 2 innings. So he's got his head down. That could be really trouble.
Rangers leading 4-0. Here's the 2-2, and Matheny fouls it back to the screen. Now, you'll be able to enter the home run contest starting this Monday by going by any of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex Nations Bank locations to pick up an entry form. And you can mail it in. You can also send in a postcard to enter, and we will give you that address in a moment. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hill to the plate, swung on, line to left center, a base hit. Buford over deep in the alley to cut it off, and Matheny will hold it first with a long single. There have been base runners for the Brewers in every inning except the 4th. The string of 6 straight hitters retired by Hill has ended. That's the 3rd Milwaukee hit. And we go to the top of the order, and Fernando Vigna. He lost a hit in the 1st inning when Benji Gill speared his line drive with a lunge to his right. And then he doubled to right center field in the third. The Rangers continue to play Buford way around toward left, even though Vina lined a double to right center for his first hit. Cirillo on deck. Palmer in at third against the possible bunt. The Rangers lead 4-0. And Hill's pitch is swung on, grounded high in the air over the head of Lee Stevens on a gigantic hop. It is down the line for a hit. Over to third goes Matheny, and to second Vina, and there's nothing the Rangers could do about it on a ball that Fernando Vina pounded straight down into the dirt in front of home plate.
You know, Lee Stevens is a tall guy, and he's got a pretty good wingspan, but the way that ball bounced, he had no play. He leaped up. He was a couple of steps in front of the bag. You know, if he'd been, and it's, I mean, no fault of his, if he had been somewhere else 3 or 4 steps deeper, he might have had a chance to run it down. But Newsom got over there in a hurry and cut it off, so the run didn't score.
Stevens was holding the runner at first. At a normal first baseman's depth, that's a fairly easy play, but not when you're holding a runner. The Rangers have the infield back, leading 4-0 with men at second and third and no outs in the fifth. Cirillo, the number 2 batter, with the heavy hitters coming next. And the pitch is low for ball 1. The Brewers are 0 for 6 in this game with men in scoring position. They have had more than their share of chances. Buford is a step or 2 toward right. They give Cirillo the alley in left center as Greer plays straight away in left, and Newsom does the same in right. Here's the 1-0, and that's down and away. And Hill is behind in the count at 2 balls and no strikes. It has now become completely overcast at the ballpark. We had sunshine for a couple of innings, but now it is totally cloudy, and we do have a forecast for a chance of showers later on this afternoon. 2-0. And the pitch swung on and fouled back, and it's 2-1. If you'd like to enter the home run contest, send a postcard to Home Run Inning, Box 202-366. That's Box 202-366, Arlington, and the zip code is 76006. That's Box 202-366, Arlington 76006. You have a chance to win a weekend getaway for 2, including hotel accommodations and 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. 2-1, and a swing and a miss on a high fastball. That pitch was not in the strike zone, but Ken Hill overpowering Cirillo. David Nielsen waits on deck. Matheny at third and Vina at second. Nobody out. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball way inside, and it almost hit him, but did not. Cirillo started toward first base, and Davey Phillips says, stay right here. And the manager, Phil Garner, is going to have a little chat with Davey Phillips as to whether that breaking pitch that did not break at all hit Jeff Cirillo or didn't. And Garner wants some help. He wants Phillips to ask one of the other umpires. And Phillips is saying, I saw it. I don't have to ask anybody else.
Now, remember, this is the year when the umpires are supposed to be going to take less guff. That's their edict. But I had a long chat with Davey Phillips before the game. In fact, we're going to hear from him Thursday night on the warm-up. And he said, if you ask him, well, you look at getting a look at that again, it looked like it hit him in the shoulder. You ask him, and he says that, they're going to take less guff is right. But, I think that's a good indication, Eric. If the guy asks the right way, he's going to let him have his say.
3-2. Here's the pitch. It's high ball 4, and the result is the same as if Cirillo had been awarded first. Again, on the replay, it did appear that the ball hit Cirillo in the shoulder on the previous pitch. Well, now the bases are loaded. The tying run is coming up. The Rangers are getting some bullpen activity going, and Dick Bosman is walking out to the mound. Ken Hill in the first 3 innings threw 60 pitches. That's a high total for him through 3. But then he had an 8-pitch 4th inning as he breezed through a 1-2-3 inning. Johnny Yotes said before the game he feels that his starting pitchers, with the exception of Darren Oliver, are ready to throw 120 pitches in a start. So Hill was halfway there after 3 innings. And, of course, it's harder when you throw the 120 pitches in a shorter span of time. You have long innings, and it makes it rougher. So the Rangers get left-hander Eric Gunderson and right-hander Danny Patterson up in the bullpen. And the tying run is coming to the plate in the person of David Nilsson. The designated hitter has grounded to second and flied out to right. Brewers all over the base paths. Matheny at third, Vigna at second, and Cirillo at first. The Rangers play Nielsen around toward left in the outfield with Greer and Buford. Newson straight away in right, so they give him right center. Hill is shaded way over toward the middle. The Rangers play for the double play. And the pitch, a strike. Hill took something off and got it over the outside corner. Another good scoring opportunity for the Brewers, who have had men in scoring position in every inning except the fourth. The wind continues to blow in from right field. Hill at the belt, to the plate, swung on, lifted high in the air to left field. Rusty Greer going back and toward the alley. He's under it and he's got it. Tagging at third is Matheny. He's in to score. Tagging at second and over to third goes Vigna. Staying at first is Cirillo. The Brewers are on the board. Nielsen with a sacrifice fly and a run batted in. It is a 4-1 ball game. And before John Jaha steps in, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Rangers radio network. Has struck out twice today, both times batting with a man in scoring position. The Rangers are at double play depth, and the pitch is a fastball in there on the outside corner, 0-1. We remind you, Jaha is the guy who has killed Ken Hill in the past. Vigna at third and Cirillo at first run well. Jaha is a slow runner. Here's the stretch. And the pitch. Slider outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jose Valentin, a switch hitter, is the man on deck. Valentin, I guess now, just a left-handed hitter, the way they're listing him in some books. We don't really know as yet. Until the Rangers use a left-handed pitcher, we won't be sure. The 1-1, swung on and missed. And Hill gets ahead in the count to Jaha at 1-2. Hill's been behind most of the hitters today, but against Jaha, he's been able to get out in front, and he has struck him out the first 2 times. 4-1 Texas. Runners at first and third and 1 out. The Rangers spread out in the outfield straight away against Jaha. Here's the set. And the 1-2 pitch. Slider way outside. Nice play by Rodriguez, moving to his right and backhanding that ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jaha strikes out a lot. He fanned 118 times last year, but was the Brewers' most valuable player. Led the team in homers and runs batted in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vigna at third, Cirillo at first. The stretch by Hill. And here comes the pitch. He struck him out swinging. Throw to first by Rodriguez, not in time. A slider down and away, and Jaha has fanned for the 3rd time in the ball game. That represents half of Hill's total of 6 strikeouts. And Rodriguez took a shot at picking off Cirillo and almost got him as Stevens tagged just a little bit late. Cirillo diving in head first to the back of the bag. Hill is an out away from getting out of the inning with a 3-run lead. And here's Valentin batting from the left side. He has walked and lined out softly to third to end the 3rd inning with runners at first and second. Hill is set at the belt and comes home, and a swing and a grounder foul past first base. Valentin had the count in his favor at 3-1 back in the 3rd inning. Then when it went to 3-2, Hill got a fastball in on his hands and jammed him, causing a soft floater right to Dean Palmer at third. Palmer plays even with the bag at third, 20 feet off the line. Stevens holds the runner at first. The outfield straight away. Hill is a step toward the middle at short. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball down and in. It misses, a sharp slider. 1-1. Gerald Williams, a right-handed batter on deck. Gunderson, the lefty, and Patterson, the righty, are warmed and ready in the bullpen. We are in the top of the 5th. The Rangers leading 4-1. The stretch by Hill. And here's the pitch. Swung on, line to right, a base hit. That will score Vigna. Cirillo around second. He goes to third. It's a single for Valentin, and the Ranger lead is cut to 4-2. Valentin with a run batted in as he pulled a single over the head of Lee Stevens. And now the go-ahead run comes to the plate in the person of Gerald Williams. 5 hits in the game for Milwaukee, 5 for the Rangers. Texas riding a Lee Stevens 3-run 1st inning homer, leads by a 4-2 count. Gerald Williams has struck out and fouled out to first. A right-handed hitter from New Orleans getting the start today because Mark Newfield has a bad hamstring. The stretch and the pitch in the dirt. Nice stop by Rodriguez. The runner heads to second. Here's the throw. He is out at second and the inning's over. Trying to move up on what appeared to be a wild pitch. Jose Valentin is gunned down by Pudge Rodriguez to get Ken Hill out of trouble. Pudge blocked the ball with his chest protector, picked it up, fired to McLemore to end the inning. 2 runs come home for the Brewers, and after 4.5, the Rangers 4, Milwaukee 2. After the Rodriguez throw-out of Valentin on what is not a caught stealing, because it would have been a wild pitch, the Rangers